Queen Street station just at George Square on an amazingly beautiful sunny day, but disappointment as George Square completion date has been once again moved forward. So the completion date originally was the end of August. Now it's come out yesterday that this section here, where the fencing covers the work on George Square at your Queen Street entrance, will reopen partially on the first weekend of September. You know, when I see things on STV or the BBC or the Times reporting on the origin of the stones that Glasgow City Council's using for George Square, and I wonder, how did they find out that information? What sources and investigatory journalism did they use? And then I walked by here and I seen all the crates of stone, and I zoomed in and it says origin of stone, China. So the work that you can see that's completed here on George Street at George Square is being extended up to your North Frederick Street to create a more desirable, wider path of renovation and renewal for George Square, which will be nice. I'm happy to see it, and the beautiful little trees are planted there at the Queen Street entrance, so come the first weekend of September we'll be able to see those and hopefully sit around them and under them. But this later stage will not open until the end of October, so that's quite a delay, given that maybe it'll be ready for the Christmas market, which would be a new environment for them to design the Christmas market over, which might actually be really nice because you'll have all the new little trees to put little fairy lights on and fake snow and so on. So I think there is hope for the Christmas market in George Square this year, and not only this year, but to make it the best Christmas market that Glasgow City Centre's ever had. That's what I would be inspired to see and to attend. And if they do, I will turn up and I will glorify it. And if they don't, then I will slate it. So as you can see here, there's still a substantial amount of work, and there was supposed to be delays because of, again, the same as Sauchiehall Street delays. What the blueprints or the, what was underneath the ground maps did not match, so they found holes that weren't supposed to be there and so on, so they had to dig elsewhere and fill in. But you can see here, if I zoom in, you've got some natural little flowers they're planting, as well as some new trees next to the old trees. As you walk round by the city chambers, you can see that it's a bit of a disaster zone here. Well, I've dug really deep to deal with drainage and so on, I would imagine, and electrics by the looks of it. But it's bad for lovely pubs like the Piper Bar there, which still gets busy, but it's not as prominent, and it's certainly not as nice a front of a bar as you would find normally. So in September, when the Queen Street station part of George Square, this part right here, reopens, the seating you can see outside here in the Counting House will be extended, I would imagine, because there used to be lots of seating for the Counting House right here behind these barriers. So that'll be great news for the Counting House pub and for people who want a quick pint at a cheap price. Another beautiful day in Glasgow City Centre, and sad news about George Square having another delay on reopening. Something in my mind is whether the issues that we know of in St Enoch Square, the police incidents, well, it's not the police causing the problems, let's be honest, but will those things, will those issues, and will the people who cause issues there move to George Square when it reopens? Is that a place that they would consider? Well, we'll find it. But thank you so much for joining me, my friends. I will catch you in the comments, and I hope you're having a great day.